everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while. I was giving my USMLE exam, and once the results are out, I'm gonna give you unlimited USMLE content. But until then, I had promised that I'd make a video about clinical subjects, which is ENT and Ophthalm. I'm making this video because I think I scored well last year. I scored 172 on 200 in ENT, which was associated with a gold medal in ENT, as well as 184 on 200 in Ophtho. There isn't really a crazy mantra to do clinical subjects, but I'm going to give you as much of advice as I can. Number one, starting with the resources, I've mentioned each and every resource I have used for these subjects in my previous video, so go check that out if you haven't yet. And when you watch that video, you'll notice that I have at max used one or two resources. This is because I realized for clinical subjects at least, I need one constant source of accurate information rather than multiple sources telling me different things that confuse me. Now, this constant source of information primarily has to be your class and what they teach in the hospital. In addition to this, I used Dhingra and Mittal for ENT and Ophthalm respectively. The thing about using one single resource is not only does it help you with solidifying your concepts, it also helps you in memorizing things, which I think is sometimes as important as concepts when it comes to written examinations. And that being said, I am only talking about a singular book resource. Clinical subjects are those kind of subjects that have knowledge everywhere. No matter what you use, be it let's say marrow videos or books or hospital or your lectures, the information and concepts you're getting is the same. Your body doesn't change. So don't stress out about the resources. They're the least of your concern. I'm gonna tell you how I deal with these subjects. Very simple. I paid a lot of attention in class. Okay, when I was paying attention in class, I would either have a notebook or the book that I'm referring to. For ENT and Ophthalm, it was easy because it was a smaller book, so I could carry it around in my bag. If you have an iPad, then well and good. You can probably carry it around in your iPad. Whatever they teach in class, I would try to underline it in my book if I can find it. Otherwise, write small notes in and around my book as to what all topics have been taught. Now, immediately after class, the same day itself, I would spend half an hour, at max 1 hour, going through the same topic. If I have any doubts, I'd watch a YouTube video on it and call it a day. Now, I would not touch this subject until it's close up near the exam, because I personally use third year to enhance my CV. So during the weekends, I'd mostly do my CV related, club related, leadership related work. So the only time I would re-revise these topics was when it was probably a month or two closer to exams. But the reason it stuck with me so well is because when clinical postings were going on, any small piece of information that I would find out during the postings, I would read the chapter associated with that piece of information on the same day itself again during the postings. So majority of my study for ENT Ophthalm has been solidified during my posting. The 1 month that's given for ENT and Ophthalm, I managed to cover most of the syllabus associated with ENT Ophthalm because those topics were covered each and every day during posting. Now, talking about postings, I used to, whenever there was a case presentation, I would note down all important points as to what to not mess up in case presentation. I would note down a lot of notes basically because I need to keep writing so that my dimag stays active and I'm not sleepy in class, because I sleep a lot. Today morning in class, sir just pointed out that I was yawning thrice, but I'm like, and I didn't really know what to do. But anyways, now the thing with these posting notes is, I would obviously read them the same day again. It literally takes 5 minutes to reread those posting notes. It's barely 1 or 2 pages, right? But the one thing that I did that really helped me is before practical exams and theory exams, I went through those notes again so that I don't make the same mistakes in case presentations, so that I don't make the same mistakes whenever Viva is going on, or even in answer sheets, etc. During postings, take cases, participate in the discussion. When the discussion is going on, even if you don't know an answer, attempt it, because when you keep answering, you learn more. See, the half of my learning in MBBS has been me trying to answer, me getting it wrong, and then the teacher telling me the right answer. So now it's completely registered in my brain. Somehow that works for me, but you see what works for you too. For me, participating in case discussions, participating in general in class really helps me retain a lot of information. I really try not being that annoying girl who talks too much in class, but you can't help it. If it's gonna help me study, I'm gonna do it. Oh, another thing I did was I used to practice examination on my friends and vice versa. So we used to just go and sit in that ENT room every time teachers were in there or we were free, and try to look into each other's noses and ears and throat, God knows what not. You might not realize, but they help you register all these examinations properly, because doing them is definitely more important than just knowing them. Another thing that I do a lot is I study in a Viva format. So when I start studying, suppose I read a paragraph. The paragraph says that cephalopelvic disproportion is an indication for cesarean section. So my brain immediately goes, what all are the indications for cesarean section and why? And I try to answer this question in my head itself. Then I read it through. If I don't get the answer here, I go on Google and I get the answer. When you go on Google, make sure you're getting the answer from an appropriate resource, please. Okay, so this is one thing I did. I don't know how many people do it, but if you do it, then you go, girl. Every time I read ENT or Opthal, I would start from Anat. I would never leave out reading Anat and Physio, no matter how boring it gets, because you are underestimating how much these basics are going to help you frame your answers and help you in your Viva questions. Because every time a teacher sits for Viva, they keep digging into the whys of everything, and at the end, the why ends up being something related to anatomy or physiology, right? So I made sure every time I read it, no matter, even if it was the fifth time I'm reading the chapter, I would read it from the beginning of anatomy and physio, because these anatomy and physiology are mentioned in Dhingra and Mittal itself. You don't have to go back to BDC or Vishram Singh to read it again. I think this is the most important advice. That would be, I did not burn out. I did not burn out with ENT Opthal because I was enjoying those subjects. I was getting enough sleep and I was getting enough food while I was preparing for the exams of these subjects. See, passing is a goal. Passing must be a goal because you're in MBBS and you ideally want to pass and go into the next year, right? Getting good marks can be a goal for a few people if you've been consistently studying. Topping is never the goal. Topping cannot be a personal goal because topping is relative. कोई और बंदा अच्छा पढ़ लेगा तो वो टॉप कर लेगा. But if you keep topping as a goal in your mind, then it's really gonna mess with you while you're gonna study for these papers. You're gonna miss out on sleep, on food, and everything else. So don't do that. Do your own thing. Let people do their own thing, and you will get your result according to how much you've done. Thank you so much for watching.